Hello everyone, Matt Tilley, the British bloke, first team real estate. Gonna do a quick video today. I'm gonna answer 5 questions. I have a newsletter. If you want to subscribe, go onto my website, thebritishbloke.com. Subscribe, I send out a newsletter every month. And then from that, I often get asked questions. So today, I'm gonna answer 5 questions that I commonly get and hopefully help you out. Okay, number 1, do I have to put 20% down when I buy a home? And the answer is a big no. Great, if you can put 20% down, excellent. That's prime real estate buying power. But obviously that's very difficult, especially in the California market. So there's programs out there, you can put 3.5% down, you can put 5% down. If you're a military veteran, you can put 0% down with a VA loan. So I always advise you, talk to your lender. The lender's gonna help you out. Yes, the less you put down, obviously the more you have to pay in monthly payments, but you don't have to put 20% down these days in order to buy a home. Number 2, can I back out of a deal once we open escrow? The answer is yes, of course you can, but it's obviously frowned upon. Usually the easiest time to get out of escrow is within the first 72 hours of the deal. Within 72 hours of opening escrow, you have to put in your 3% earnest money deposit, just to show that you mean business. That goes to escrow, they hold on to that. Then if there's any funny business during escrow, if you're messing the buyer around, or the seller around, they can potentially hold on to that. So usually the first 3 days of the deal is the quickest and easiest time for you to get out of the deal. Obviously, once you're in escrow, generally 30 days, you have 3 different contingencies that you have to work with. Inspection contingency, appraisal contingency, loan contingency. If any 3 of these contingencies are not met, you can back out of the deal, no problems. So number 1, inspection contingency. Obviously you're buying a home, you're gonna get a licensed general inspector to go into that home and check it out for you. Plumbing, electrical, roof, etc. Is the home in good nick? If it is, great, you can release that contingency. If it's not, for example, say there's a major plumbing issue or a major electrical issue, you ask the seller to help you fix that, or you ask the seller to fix it or credit you at closing cost. If they say no, and you don't want to front that amount, you can back out. No questions asked, no problems, you get your earnest money deposit back. The second one is the appraisal contingency. And it's a big one, especially right now. Say you buy a house for $800,000. The appraisal comes in and it's only $750,000. You have to make up that $50,000 difference. Sometimes the seller and the buyer meet 50-50, so you pay 25, they come down 25. If, for example, in a hot market like this and the seller says, hey, I'm not budging, if you don't want to find that $50,000 in cash, guess what? You can back out. That's totally in your right. And then the third one, the biggest one actually, and the reason the majority of homes fall out of escrow, loan contingency. Just because you have been pre-approved by your lender doesn't mean you're 100% guaranteed to get the loan. So generally you have 17 days to get the loan contingency or to get the loan approved. If for some reason this does not happen, you can then back out of the deal. So yes, short answer, you can back out of the deal when you're in it. It's frowned upon. You generally have 21 days to kind of make your mind up. Once all the loan contingencies, appraisal contingency, and inspection contingency have been released, if you do try and back out for whatever reason, then your earnest money deposit is at risk. If you're buying an $800,000 home, that's about $24,000. So if you're buying a home, make sure you're serious. Number 3, when I sell my home, how much tax do I have to pay on the profit? Well, I'm not an accountant. Always talk to your accountant in something like this. But I can kind of give you my 10 cents version of that. For example, say you bought a house for $150,000 20 years ago, and now, great, you sell it for $800,000. You make $650,000 profit. If you're married, you get $500,000 capital gains shelter. If you're single, not married, you get $250,000. So let's just say for this instance, you're married and you're selling your home. You've made $600,000 profit over the last 20 years. So you have $500,000 instantly tax-free. That leaves you $100,000 in profit, right? Well, if you're selling an $800,000 house, closing costs are probably about $45,000 on that. That leaves you with $55,000. I would expect over 20 years living in that property, maybe you've upgraded the bathroom, the kitchen, something like that. Maybe you've probably spent $50,000 on upgrading that home after the last 20 years, which means you don't actually have to pay anything. So you could buy a home for 150 grand, make $600,000 profit, and with all the capital gains, et cetera, you might not have to pay any tax. So keep your receipts. However, if you do have to pay tax to Uncle Sam, he's going to take about 20% of any profit. But like I said, always speak to your CPA. They're going to know a lot more about it than I am, but that's kind of the run-of-the-mill answer. Number 4, if I can, should I buy an investment property? And the answer is yes, 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 and yes. Great thing about investment properties, you can buy them anywhere in the country. Obviously, California, it's pretty expensive and it's not easy to buy an investment property. But for example, I just bought one in 2014 in Henderson, Nevada. $167,000 I paid for it. I've rented it out, so you get the rent. The rent covers the mortgage. You get depreciation, appreciation. You can write stuff off at the end of the year with taxes. And then 4 years later, when I bought my primary residence here in Southern California, I refinanced that investment property, took money out. It helped me with my down payment here. So I would always suggest to people, if you can buy investment properties, it's 100% dead cert for me. Basically, what I keep reading is if you can make money while you're asleep, you're doing something right. And guess what? Investment properties do that for you. And number 5, what should I look for in a real estate agent? It's a very simple answer. You should look for this right here. Hi, 323-350-5770. Matt Tilley, the British bloke, first team real estate. But also, yes, right now everyone's like, well, anyone can sell a house. And true, it is not that difficult to sell a home right now. What is more important is the relationship. You're going to be working with this person for 30, 60, 90 days, and you've got to trust them. You've got to know they can do a good job. You've got to know that they're representing you well and in the right way. And you've got to get on with them, right? It's a very intense, short 1, 2, 3 month relationship. And if you don't like your agent, it's going to be miserable. Trust me, I've worked with a lot of people who have fired their agents because they can't stand working with them. So just because you have been recommended someone to do a good job, if you don't mesh with them, you might hate it. So apart from hiring me, hire someone that you like, you feel like you get along with, and you'll be just fine. Okay, so 5 quick questions. If you have any other questions, please, like I said, shoot me an email, join my newsletter, give me a call, social media, you can obviously write. Matt Tilley, the British bloke, first team real estate. Love doing these videos. I hope you enjoy them as much as I do. And cheerio.